I thought I will also draw your attention to this word swasthya, which is, as I said, swa and stha. Swa means self, stha means the one who stays in the self. Grihastha, the one who is staying in the house, is grihastha. Vanaprastha, the one who is staying in the forest, is vanaprastha. Like that, swasthya, the one who is staying in the self. It means he's in touch with his divinity, he is established there. Our Ayurveda defines health in a very beautiful shloka. It comes from Sushruta Samhita. Sushruta was one of those pioneers in medicine from India who defined the principles of Ayurveda and how we have to treat the body and how body and the 5 elements are connected. Therefore, we must take care of these 5 elements within our body and whatever is originated from them to make our body healthy. But he did not just talk about sickness and cure of the body. He talked about the mind and the senses. He did not just focus on the physicality of the ailment, but he saw the underlying other causes, what we call as psychosomatic diseases today. Many times our doctors, especially in psychology department, they tell patients come, they have no real pain. They have imagined the pain and they keep suffering with that. So it is just not possible how to correct that. It is not possible because that is a mental issue, it is not a physical issue. But they are experiencing physical pain somehow. But is there a real reason for it? I mean, they got fractured or they got some hurt or they got a wound or disease. I understand you have a physical pain, but there are no symptoms of anything. But still they feel tremendous pain in the leg, in the shoulder, in the neck, back, headache. They keep complaining. But there is no real reason. You do CT, MRI, anything and everything, nothing, no physical problem. Because their minds are not corrected. Their mind and senses are not in control or in peace. That is the reason why suffer so much of pain. And that also we have to treat. So slowly we have to do that. So swasthya, our swasthya recognizes mind and senses also. I remember a very nice story from Bhagavan. It was in Trai when we were sitting as students. He used to tell long stories. Every day 2.5 hours used to spend. So in that one story he told that long back when in Puttaparthi, and I think he was maybe in Penukonda, new rail line was laid and train started plying. And the signal for the women folk of the village to wake up was the siren of the engine of the train which would pass. So when that siren comes, they will all wake up and go to fetch water from the well. And so that was like their regular routine. So it so happened that one day such women went with their pots on their head to fetch water from the well when the siren of the engine was, the horn of the engine was blowing. And that point it was very cold, it seems. That it was a winter time and they would go at 4 o'clock in the morning. So when they went there, one of the ladies who wanted to fetch the water, when you wake up, you stretch out like your arms, you stretch it out like your body. So she tried to stretch herself and her hands got stuck above her head. And she could not do anything about it. That just got stuck in that moment of whatever shock. It froze like that. And they were not sure how to handle it because she could never bring her hands down again to the normal position. So they took her to many Vaidyas, doctors, this, that and everything, but nothing changed. Her hands were always stuck above her head, it seems. So then they brought him to Swami, who was becoming very famous for curing people of all kinds of illnesses, including who are possessed by spirits and all that. They were all, because in villages all this is very common. So they would bring all of them to anybody who is a little bit of a yogi. So since Swami in the younger days became very famous that he could cure people of some of these funny diseases which nobody had cure for. So they brought her to him. Now he realized that this is no disease at all. It is just that somehow her hands have got locked, frozen, and she cannot bring it down, and mentally she is now resigned to this idea that her hands are gone forever. This is how she is going to live the rest of her life. So what he did, he told you, bring her tomorrow, I will tell you, I will do something about it. So when the next day they bring her, he gathers a lot of men in a room, full of men. And then there is a small table that is kept, and he puts this lady with the help of others on top of the table. So she is like standing alone with her hands up in a gathering of all men, no women in the room. Then Bhagavan, what he did, he called to her sari and tried to pull it. In that shock, she brought her hands down and caught her sari. And her disease was cured. Mental. So this is how he told that he cured that lady of her frozen hands. So idea is that our mind is the beginning of all the issues. And the mind, we imagine something, that's it. After that you cannot do anything about it. Like those story of those girls I told of New York who were painters. And one of them thought, if the last leaf falls, I am going to die. It's a O. Henry story. That the last leaf, it's called. I'm going to die. She had somehow developed that. She had pneumonia and she thought she's going to die the day the last leaf from the tree outside my window falls. It was cold winter season and very, very breezy. All leaves one by one started falling because it's winter season. One leaf never fell. It stayed. And that gave her hope and she recovered from her illness and became normal. But then she realized there was an old man, a painter, who used to live downstairs. He passed away. And he passed away because he came to know about this lady, that she is so attached to that leaf that if all the leaves fall, she thinks she is going to die. So that night he stayed up in the rain, in the cold, and painted a leaf on the wall. And that leaf, she thought is a real leaf. And next morning when she woke up and saw that even after a stormy night, the leaf is still there, she believed that she's not going to die. And so she didn't die. But the man died of pneumonia because he caught cold in the night. He was an old man. But that was his masterpiece. That's how the story ends, the O. Henry story. Idea is that many times it's mental for us. Physical body reflects our mental makeup. So happy demeanor, happy mind, happy disposition is very important in life. So what is the definition of health in our Ayurveda? It says, samadosha, samagnischa, samadhatu, malakriyaha, prasannatmendriya manah, swastha ityabhidhiyate. What does it say? Samadosha. We are told to have three kinds of dosha or faults. What are these? One is vata, pitta and kapha, they call in Ayurvedic term. Vata means excess air in the body. Because we are made of 5 elements, right? Air, water, earth, sky, space. Excess water is vata, which causes swelling and which causes a lot of gastric troubles and other things. So excess air. Second is pitta, excess fire, heat in the body, temperature. A lot of people suffer through tremendous heat in the body. That is the pitta. And third is kapha. Kapha is excess water in the body. So these three elements, when they are not in balance, it causes a lot of trouble in our body. The water content of the body and how it is processed. The fire content, that is the heat and temperature in the body, it means all the metabolic activities. And the air content in the body, the air that we breathe and how that oxygen circulates within the body. All three are reasons why we fall sick if they are not in proper balance. So the moment you go to an Ayurvedic doctor, he'll catch hold of your wrist, he'll check the nadi, and somehow they know by the pulse that they touch and feel which one of these is in imbalance. And then they will say, we'll have to correct this imbalance. Means you cannot eat food that cause more gas to you because you are having excessive gas, bloating and other issues. Then similarly, if there is no proper digestion, you have constipation and other issues. So they will tell you these kind of foods you have to avoid. So our original medicine system was not a medicine-based system. It was food-based system. They used to give some medicine, of course, some kind of extracts from plants which helped us to improve the situation. But largely they gave us advice only on our diet. Ahara and Patya it is called. Ahara is the diet part of it, Patya is the medicine part of it. So they did give us some medicines, but more importantly they gave us Ahara advice, dietary advice, nutrition advice. Can you believe in modern medicine like MBBS, there is no subject called nutrition. There is no advice taught also to the students of medicine how to advise patients about how to change their diet and improve their health. It is not there at all. Whereas Ayurveda was based only on diet. The entire thing was inside out. Our whole thing is outside in the Western medicine. Ayurveda found what is going on inside you. And they didn't stop at that. These three faults of water, air and fire, that is temperature in you, could be one way. What are the other things? Sama Agnihi. Agni means that digestive fire in you. That also has to be good. If fire of digestion is burning, then food gets inside, it turns into energy. Otherwise, it remains undigested and becomes poison in your body. When I was small, my grandmother used to say, don't have bath soon after food. So I used to ask why. She said, Anta vishamaipotundi, she used to say. It will become poison, all that you have eaten. I used to think, grandmother and your funny theories. how can food become poison? I have not eaten poison, I have eaten food. She would say, no, it will turn into poison. She did not know the logic behind, no, this is not good. At least wait for 20-30 minutes before you go for bath. Don't go for bath immediately. But later when you study biology and a little bit of Ayurveda, you realize what happens when you eat food. All your energy is now focused, all the oxygen is going towards your stomach to digest the food, right? Because all the temperature is needed in the stomach to break the food down and further digest it. All the digestive juices have to be secreted, and all this has to happen in a quick time. If it doesn't happen at that right time, it will lead to other issues, constipation and things, and even food poisoning, because it is undigested food. So when you do not do anything after eating food, you have to be quiet for some time. You should not be doing too many things, because all your body's oxygen and energy is going towards your stomach to make the digestion happen. It is the load that the body is carrying right now. Now when you have bath, what happens? The temperature gets redistributed across your peripherals, like your skin. You take a hot water bath or cold water bath, whichever way. Your skin is now activated. So your circulation, blood circulation is now moving towards your skin. That is why we need to have bath, because it improves the blood circulation around the whole body. Your skin becomes better. It's important for skin to grow and deal with diseases. So if you have bath soon after food, the energy that is needed, the oxygen and circulation that is needed for your stomach is now getting redistributed or deviated to your skin and the muscles and everything else that benefits from the bath. So food remains undigested then. And then that undigested food creates trouble, because it has to digest in certain time. Krishna says very clearly, nothing should be eaten beyond the yam. Yam is a 3-hour period. Because if crosses that, then it becomes tamasic food. Within the 3 hours of cooking, one should eat the food. That is a sattvic food. He has defined that. So here is very clear. Our Ayurveda is very clear. That Agni, the stomach's fire, which to digest, what you call Jatara Agni. Wow, we chant, no? What is that? Brahmarpadam Brahmaved, that is after that, Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva. Vaishwanara means fire. Another name for fire is Vaishwanara. Vaishwa means that which is everywhere. In the Nara, when it is digestive fire. So Krishna says, I am the digestive fire, Vaishwanara. Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva Praninam Deham Ashrita. I am in their bodies, in all pranis, not just humans. Birds, bees, animals, insects. I am only that fire of digestion. Whatever Chaturvidham, food that we eat, 4 kinds, he digests. So he is the energy. So then digestive fires are not strong. We are not able to digest food. That leads to diseases. Undigested food is poison. That's what my grandmother meant. And I kept that in mind. So here also, generally carbs take 2 to 3 hours to get digested. Very complex carbs will take 5 to 6 hours. And if you're eating, the animal products take even longer because they're very complex. Vegetables will take probably maximum an hour. Fruits take 20 to 30 minutes, that's about it. So you have to accordingly plan your bath. Suppose you have eaten fruits, 15-20 minutes later if you go for bath, no problem. If you have eaten simple carbs, at least 2 to 3 hours you have to give gap. Or vegetables you've eaten at least 1 hour. 2 to 3 hours for normal carbs and proteins. Proteins which are highly complex and carbs which are highly complex, including animal products, 6 hours. That's what it takes for us, our food to completely go out of the stomach and get absorbed in the intestines. Till then you should not have bath. So there are rules like that. That is why first thing we wake up and have bath. Activate all our body, our cells, our muscles, our nerves, our circulation. Because in the night, body has cooled down. It has slowed down everything. So if you eat too late in the night and then sleep off, body's natural tendency is to cool down. It is shutting down the system for rest. But people eat at 10:30, 11, 12 in the night. And then they sleep off. And the body is suffering. Because it wants to rest. It does not want to work. It is circadian rhythm, the sun and the body and the metabolism are connected. But when you eat in the dark, that is night time after sunset, and eat too late into the night and then you sleep off after that, all these lifestyle diseases are coming from there. All these indigestion that people are suffering, all the sleeplessness, all the other lifestyle related diabetes and cancers and other things, it's all because of not having food correctly. If you correct having food, everything else will get resolved on its own. So Ayurveda recognized, because Annam is the body. It says very clearly, our Upanishads say, right? Annat Purushaha. We are made of food. So if what is our constituent element, food, if it's not correct, then how can we be correct? So it says correct your food and correct your eating habits. These ultra-processed foods, these highly sugary drinks, these aerated drinks, and animal meat which is highly processed, all these are very, very harmful for the body. No, where we were eating all this, that time life was different. You were working also so hard that time. And our hunters were not like morning breakfast, then lunch, then three animals they'll kill, eat. No. They'll eat once in a week, like lions eat once in a week, that's it. Once they've eaten for a whole week, they don't eat at all because they don't feel hungry, that is, energy is enough. They don't keep hunting every day. That's not their job. They eat only when they're hungry. But we eat nevertheless, whether we are hungry or not, because we have got used to eating and love food being available so easily. We keep eating without being hungry, and that is leading to all these diabetes. We see so many patients, thousands of them, diabetes patients. Where is this diabetes coming from? Ultra-processed food, refined carbs, and sedentary lifestyle. They are farmers only, but they are no more farming. They're just eating. Earlier they were farmers, they'll eat a mouthful of rice, they'll digest it. Because the body is working hard. Nowadays nobody works hard, sits in the chair. So that has become a huge issue. But nevertheless we are desirous of eating, satisfying the tongue. But we are not willing to spend that energy. So it's all accumulating and leading to a lot of issues. That's the biggest. Obesity and related diseases in the world are increasing every day. Many countries who presented what they say, we have another kind of malnutrition issue. We have obesity in our countries. It's not lack of food, but that is the issue. So our idea is that everything is fast, instant, processed, quick. We don't have time to bring the vegetable from the market, cut, clean, cook, then eat. This is why it's happening. Plus we keep eating all the time, unnecessarily also. So keeping that in mind, that your digestive fire should be good. We also have rules how much you should eat, how many times. I tell below 30 or 25, eat 4 times, no problem. Because your body is growing, you can digest, you can use it for your studies, sports. 25 to 50, eat 3 times maximum. Because you still need energy, you are active, you are a grahastha, you are doing the jobs, this, that, so you need some energy. 50 to 75 years, eat only 2 times, morning and evening. Keep a gap of 7 to 8 hours. Because your body's digestive fires are becoming dull now. Age is catching up. You need lesser food, lesser activity. So 2 times you eat between 50 and 75 years. And keep a gap of 7 to 8 hours. It means if you eat in the morning, then eat only in the evening. And not late in the night. Because after night, as I said, food needs all the energy, but body needs to rest. So it is like contradictory, it will ruin the body. And then, when you are above 75, just eat once. When the sun is up, eat then. Midday. That's the best. Because your digestive fibers are already weak. You cannot digest. You need at least 12 to 14 hours to go through the process of digestion. So only in the night, in the afternoon or noon. Don't eat rest of the. And when you are 100, you won't need to eat, I'm sure. There's nothing there. So the idea is that naturally now imagine how brahmacharya, grahastha, vanaprastha, sannyasa is a withdrawal mechanism. And what is the first most attractive thing for us? Ahara. You all want to eat. So if you learn to withdraw from food, you are able to learn to withdraw from the mind and senses and its distractions. So our body itself is designed that you are slowly getting old and you are unable to digest food. So your intake should come down, and that should help you to also withdraw in your mind. Many old people say, Swami, I am not able to eat anything, I am not able to sleep. I say, that is how it is supposed to be at your age. You are not supposed to eat, you are not supposed to sleep like a baby. You are supposed to meditate. You are supposed to meditate most of the time and eat 1 time. That's enough. But they want to eat 4 times like they were eating when they were young and sleep 8 hours like they were sleeping when they were young. And then they think we have some disease. I told you I have one disease. Old age is a disease, if you think that way. But it is not a disease. It is a natural plan, design of the nature to help you withdraw. But at the last fag end also you want to taste, touch, smell, touch, enjoy. It is not right. So body is designed, our Ashtama dharmas are designed very naturally you can withdraw from the world. So why I am explaining this, our medicine is so spiritual in nature, understands how nature works. So sama dosha, sama agnischa, sama dhatu it is. There are 7 types of constituting elements in the body. 7 things that compose or make our body. These are called dhatu, the basic elements, dhatu. And they also should be in good balance. And what are the 7 dhatus? We say dhatus are rasa, this is plasma, blood plasma, rakta, which is the blood, platelet, that is one is platelets and one is blood. Then mansa, which is the flesh, that is the muscles. Meda, which is the fat. Asti, bone. Majja, marrow. And shukra, recreational, genital fluids. Whether it is semen or ovary or eggs, whichever male or female. So these are the 7 types of things which make our body, with which we function. The plasma, the blood, the flesh, the fat, the bone, the marrow, and the seminal fluids. These are the things we must, which is what constitutes. If there is an imbalance in these 7 also, it leads to disease. You know that when white blood cells come down, your immunity is gone. So you have to, platelets come down during infections. So we give platelet infusions, blood infusions. Marrow, many people suffer with bone marrow disorders, cancers. That has to be replaced then. Similarly, bone diseases, arthritis, and so many other degenerative ones are there. Knee replacement, all the time we keep doing. Similarly, diseases in the flesh, which is infection and wounds that cause rotting of the flesh, then that has to be corrected. Then fat-related diseases, excess fat also leads to diseases like atherosclerosis, blockage of arteries because of extra cholesterol. Or if you don't have enough fat, that also leads to diseases because you keep falling sick too often, you have no energy. So that balance. And then seminal fluids, of course, many people have suffered with infertility. A lot of people are unable to give birth because of infertility issues. It's increasing day by day. It's all because of lifestyle. Stress, lifestyle, not having healthy habits. That's it. So these are the reasons. That's why all these 7 also have to be maintained. The plasma, the blood, the flesh, the fat, the bone, marrow, and the seminal fluids. All these have to be in balance. These are the physical aspects of health as per the Ayurveda. The next line of the shloka say, and the last part is malakriya. And your excretory or function should be very good. If body is not able to excrete, not able to remove the waste either from the urine or the feces, that also will lead to disease. Everybody knows that. Kidney related issues, bladder related issues, that lead to so many diseases. Once the kidney function stops, the whole body shuts down because toxins build up. And that is poison. So our body needs to remove whatever needs to be removed. Similarly, your stools and feces. That's why when children don't go to washroom for 2-3 days, I tell our teachers to observe. Because the children won't tell. But they'll be going through some issue that they won't tell. So I tell you have to observe why he is not gone for 3 days. Check what he is eating, what he is doing. That much care wardens and teachers have to take. Like parents take that care. Parents don't the parents watch, this fellow is not going to toilet for the last 2 days. Something is wrong with his body. The baby may not know. That is why we check, when you do send the samples to lab, urine and fecal samples, that tells us your composition of the body. Forget about that. If you go in the ashram, you will see these monkeys are there. No, they keep eating cat feces. These cats keep eating monkey feces and all kinds of things. The dogs keep eating. Why they eat each other's feces? Because there are certain things that are useful to them which are not useful for that body. So there is a whole mechanism at work. Everything takes care of itself. But we are so careless as human beings, especially after the advent of modern medicine. We become even more careless. We think even if we fall sick, we'll go to the doctor and get some medicine and we'll get cured. But we don't want to change our habits. We don't mind falling sick, spending and then regaining the health, but we don't want to change our habits. Look at what we have done to ourselves. So these are the basic things. First line says, Samadoshas, Samagnisha, Samadhatu, Malakriyaha. Means all your doshas, water, air and fire should be good. Your digestive fire should be good. Then you should have 7 of these dhatus which make you the plasma, blood, flesh, fat, bone, marrow and the seminal fluid. They should be in order, doing properly their functions. Then your excretory organs should be working well because the removal of waste from the body is very important. Urine and feces. When this happens, you are physically fit. Then what else is required? The second shloka says, Prasannatmaindriya manaha swastha ityavidiyate. Your atma, mana and indriya, all 3 should be happy. Indriya should be happy means they are seeing the right things. So they are happy and satisfied. If you see wrong things, indriya become restless. Happiness is steady state. Yesterday we know true happiness is being in a steady state of existence, not fluctuating. Happiness doesn't mean you are excited. Excitement is not happiness. Happiness is the steady sukha, steady state. Sukhasana we say when we do pranayama or whatever yoga. In a comfortable state. What is the comfort? No fluctuations is comfort. So it says prasanna atma indriya manaha. Your spirit, the soul, the jivatma, the mind which is full of thoughts and emotions, and your indriyas, the sense organs, all these should be in a state of peace and happiness. Then what else happens? Then he says swastha. Then if you are in this kind of balanced state of your dhatu, agni, doshas, malakriya and atma indriya manaha, when all these are completely in good state, then only you are called as a healthy person. Now go by this definition, how many are healthy in this room, you check. Nobody is healthy. If not physically unhealthy, mentally they are unhealthy. Or they are not happy within themselves, something is bothering them, something is worries them, something is their desires or something they angers them. How are you healthy? So our scriptures don't recognize you as a healthy person by your blood test and lab tests. Unless your mind is also at peace, your organs are at peace, that is, none of this is suffering, all are in happy state. And within your spirit, you are joyful. Then only you are called as completely healthy. Imagine what a wonderful definition. Even the WHO or the medical books, nobody has this definition. This definition from Sushruta. That is when you should be healthy. That is why we recognize in our institution, you are not just the body, you are a mind also. Mind also has to be in good state. And not just the mind, your spirit. That inner feeling that you have, joyful feeling, that should be there in you. I am sure some new MBBS students have joined today. Can you stand up? How many of you are there? The new ones, just who joined today. That's it. Where are the boys? Okay, these people have joined. So you have got a good new opening discourse on what is real health. So your MBBS has been set, the new tone has been set. So if in our institution you are only going to learn Western medicine, your MBBS will not be complete. You have to also understand the Indian thought behind how health is looked at in a holistic way. Today holistic wellness and all have become buzzwords, but they don't mean really what it is, because it also has spiritual component to it, okay? That's why you have to study scriptures, because you will not be able to otherwise address the spiritual side of your patients. You have to understand how they think, how they feel. So not only psychology, not only physiology, anatomy, but also spirituology you have to study, which is what I am teaching. Okay, sit down. So the idea is that how amazing is our understanding of how human body, mind and spirit works. So why I defined is that because here uses the word swasthya. We are opening Sai Swasthya clinics everywhere. Okay, the idea is wellness. We call it as wellness centers. We didn't call it as health centers or clinics or medical centers. We didn't call. On purpose, we have named those centers as wellness centers, where we can look after all these aspects, not just the physiological aspects, but your mental and spiritual aspects also can be looked after. So that is the idea of swasthya. So Janaka says, I am happy and healthy, not just physically healthy, mentally healthy, but I am established in my spirit. I am joyful. I have no pain, because if joy is not there in your spirit, you are not healthy. That's the basic definition. Are you joyful? Yes, then you are healthy spiritually. He says, Yatha Sukham, I am joyful. I am peaceful. I am equanimous. Therefore, I am healthy. I am established in myself. So a doctor, when he looks at the patient, must look at all the aspects. See, physical aspects, of course, the treatments are done. Mental aspect, counseling is done, psychotherapy is done, and nice environment of the hospital. Nurses talk to them nicely, lovingly. Doctors treat them like a family. That adds to the mental well-being for the patient. What about the spiritual well-being? The very environment in which the patients are. It's full of devotion. It's full of spiritual energy. And people treat patients as gods. I said, Rogi Narayano Haridhir. And the patients who have some faith in some God, let us say in Jesus or Buddha or Nanak or Allah, I do not care. When they come here, they think their God whom they prayed to has responded by giving them free healthcare over here. How many people have told this? I prayed to Allah that my child should be delivered properly, I shouldn't have any complication, and I found this hospital, everything was taken care of, Allah has blessed me. What did you do? You have reinforced the spiritual health in that person. That is the idea of this hospital, how it is really addressing holistic health issue. No other hospital addresses that. At best, they'll address the physical part of it. They try to correct it through medication, surgeries and all. Maybe some diet and nutrition advice, but we have a huge dietetics department. Every day I get the khichdi from the hospital, what they are giving to the patients, to just taste and check and how does it do. It tastes quite good actually. You don't mind being sick for some time. The khichdi is quite tasty. Like that, you look at the other aspects. Mental aspects are taken care. No worries here. They know the doctors are not going to cheat. The nurses are not going to fleece them. Nobody is after their money. Nobody is going to do harm to them. Do no harm is the first principle of medicine. That is what we first start with. No harm, physically, mentally, financial harm, social harm, no harm. No discrimination. They're accepted. Mental health, no worries, how to pay the bills, how much will be the bill, no cost, no worry. And then spiritual health, because their faith in their own God, whichever God they believed in, gets reinforced, and they become joyful, calm. They become established in that peaceful state. So our hospitals alone are addressing health holistically. And that now integrated medicine department also has come. And in the new block, we are putting up a whole department over there, which also will look into these aspects of nutrition and our Ayurvedic scientists, the rishis, and how they were doing. The only problem is that everybody says evidence-based. So now Ayurveda works, that we know. But how it works, we don't know. The chemistry of it, the molecular biology of it, we don't know. So that is where we are now next doing research, that how an Ayurvedic prescription at the molecular level, what are the reactions, what is the synthesis, what is the outcome, how it interacts with the other things in the body, how it deals with it. That's what we are, because pharmacology is very advanced scientifically. It has a complete process, it has complete pathway. But here we don't have in Ayurveda. We just know it works. So now, because that time there were no molecular biology labs and nobody could have those machines, but now we are putting up all these things. Our students will get a nice chance to actually do the molecular biology level experiments of Ayurvedic medicines to understand how that works. So then we can compare the pathway with any other clinical pathway or any other pharmacological pathway, and then understand why Ayurveda would work better or not work better. That would be the way we would deal with it.